Hello, my friends, and welcome back to a brand new season of Coffee with Mia. Grab your coffee or your favorite beverage, and let's talk about something that every single one of us has experienced at one time or another. Rejection. Not getting the job, not having the relationship, not getting the opportunity, not getting the invitation, not getting chosen. And if we're being honest, rejection hurts. It doesn't matter how confident you are, how successful you are, or how much personal growth you've done. Rejection has a way of finding that tender spot where we thought we healed. Because, you know what? Rejection doesn't just make us question a situation. It makes us question ourselves. We start wondering, what's wrong with me? Why wasn't I enough? Why did they choose someone else? Or we even think to ourselves, why wasn't I wanted? But here's what I want you to remember today. Rejection, it doesn't mean that you're unwanted. Now let that sink in for a minute. Let's think about this for a minute. Unwanted and rejection, those two aren't the same. Sometimes a door closes because it was the wrong door. Sometimes a relationship ends because two people weren't meant to walk the same path. Sometimes an opportunity gets to someone else because life is moving you in a different direction. And sometimes rejection has nothing to do with your value. Sometimes the problem is that most of us personalize rejection. We turn an event into an identity. Something didn't work out, and we decide that we're unworthy. Someone may walk away, and we decide that we're unlovable. Someone said no, and we just decide that we're not enough. But I'm telling you right now, none of that is the truth. The truth is, rejection says more about circumstances, timing, compatibility, priorities, and direction. Believe me, it has more to do with that than it does about your worth. Think about this for a minute. Not everyone is supposed to understand you. Not everyone is supposed to choose you. Not every opportunity is supposed to be yours. And that doesn't make you less valuable. One of the hardest lessons that I learned is that sometimes rejection is protection. At first, it does feel like loss. But later, it feels like guidance. And years later, it often feels like a gift. There are things that I wanted desperately. I'm now grateful that they never happened. There were people that I thought that I just couldn't live without, who were never meant to stay. And there were paths that I desperately wanted to walk. But that path would have taken me away from where I was truly meant to go. But I couldn't see that in the moment, because when we're hurting, we focus on what we're losing. We don't see what we're being led toward. And that is why rejection can feel so personal. It creates a story that says, I'm not enough, I'm not wanted, or I'm not worthy. But those stories aren't facts. That's pain talking. And pain is a terrible narrator. The truth is, your worth doesn't increase just because someone chose you. And it doesn't decrease when someone doesn't. Your value will always remain the same. The challenge is remembering your feelings are trying to make you think otherwise. Not only are your feelings trying to make you think otherwise, but sometimes they're trying to convince you to think otherwise. So if you're dealing with rejection right now, I want you to hear this. You don't need to chase people who don't see your value. You don't need to convince someone to choose you. You don't need to shrink yourself to fit somewhere that you don't belong. You don't need to earn your worth. You already have it. And one rejection does not have the authority to take your worth away. Maybe the lesson wasn't that you weren't wanted. Maybe the lesson is that you stop measuring your worth by other people's decisions. Because the people who are meant for you, the opportunities that belong to you, the life that's meant for you, will never require you to abandon yourself to receive it. So take a breath, feel what you need to feel, learn what you need to learn, and then keep moving forward. Not because rejection didn't hurt, but because rejection isn't the end of your story. It never was. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me today. I'm Mia Pompey, and this has been Coffee with Mia. And until next time, keep going. Keep moving forward.